Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, PHILSME, for giving us this opportunity to introduce Deel, as well as talk about the topic of global expansion. But before that, of course, I would like to discuss about who we are, who Deel is, because as I can see, most people that are joining our booth doesn't really know about Deel. So Deel, just like most of us here, is actually a startup, a very young startup with 4 years of existence. But as you can see right here, we've been getting a lot of milestone. In 2022 alone, we've hit 15K customers in just 2 years, $500 million dollars in bank, 5 billion paid out to workers. Technically, these are international workers, and EBITDA positive since September of 2022. And of course, we are not able to achieve that without these partners of ours. As you can see right here, most of them are notable companies, traditional companies like Nike, Red Bull, but also notable startups like Revolut, Dropbox, Shopify, among others. But of course, in the Philippines, we also have our very own startups companies that use Deel, which Coins.ph, Acadarena, Axie Infinity, Locad, Online Loans Pilipinas, to mention a few. But of course, before we hit all those milestones, we also have our own humble beginnings. So in winter, in 2019, during YC winter intake, our global founders, Shuo and Alex, pitched this 10 billion industry, which is to manage international employees. And of course, after that, the rest is history. But of course, how are we able to achieve those numbers? What pushed us to achieve those numbers? Technically, because of the tectonic shift in global hiring. So during our Deel's global hiring report, it indicates that it has a 145% increase in global hiring in 2022 alone. And hiring in APAC has been one of the fastest across all other regions, faster than North America, faster than Europe, faster than EMEA and other regional countries. Yeah, so how are we able to achieve all of this? So we offer different solutions. Our core products are basically focused on contractors. So contractor management. So in the Philippines, we call this basically the VAs, freelancers. But of course, we also want to help companies who would like get exclusivity for employees that they're hiring here in the Philippines and in globally. That's where employer of record service was born. So we are not the only provider of employer of record. In local, we call this outsourced service. So these are the managed service provided by recruitment companies, outsourcing companies. And of course, while we help companies expand in other countries, they would establish their own entities. So that's where global payroll was born. So instead of them managing all things related to payroll, benefits, taxes, they actually offload the cost and the hassle and then let Deel manage everything using our in-house experts in each of the countries that we are currently operating from, which at the moment is over 150 plus countries globally. Now, talking about macro trends leading to global hiring, remote work. So pre-pandemic, we all know that remote work has been a hot topic already. But during the COVID-19, it actually boosted, it turbocharged the need for people to do remote working. And in 2 years, for the past 2 years, we proved that it could be done, that we could bring remote work into practice, which is basically the norm at the moment. Also for companies who are expanding, startup who are expanding, skill set diversity. So these basically led us to talent shortage. So some companies actually expanded their reach by going overseas. But then there are a lot of things that they have to do in terms of expanding overseas, like setting up an entity, getting the proper provider to handle their employees, among everything else, and globalization. So right now, Deel believes that location shouldn't stand in the way of people getting a job anywhere in the world. So the workforce wants flexibility, and then exactly what company like Deel helps not just the companies itself, but as well as the global workforce looking for better opportunity for work, financial capability, and of course, professional growth by looking at employers, not just in the Philippines, not just in Asia Pacific, but as well as North America, EMEA, and Europe. Now, what are the options for us hiring internationally? First, it's setting up a local entity. So this is basically the very traditional standard way of expanding globally. Use an employer of record, using contract of service or hire independent contractors, which we call VAs and freelancers. But each of these methods actually poses their own pros and cons, which we will be discussing in the next slides. So opening up a local entity, using the same setup that we have in the Philippines. It could be very tedious, it could be very time-consuming, very costly, and of course, the maintenance, the setup itself, the lengthy process actually hampers companies to expand easily in different countries. But of course, benefit will be for them in the long run to get the exclusivity of their employees without going through any third-party providers. And one thing that they could they need to look out is basically compliance. So any misclassification, any miscompliance could lead to hefty government fines. Second is employer of record. So for employer of record, this enables companies to hire anyone everywhere without setting up an entity. So I know that there's a lot of startups here that are currently managing employees internationally. So this is exactly what they use to help them navigate all the benefits, payroll, taxes, among other else that they need to manage for international employees. This is actually also the fastest, easiest way for them to expand, most especially for startups who just want to test out the market in each of the countries that they plan to expand to. So instead of setting up an entity, shelling out costs in setting up those entities, they could use employer of record service that is being provided by companies like Deel to navigate all of those things for them and eventually set up an entity once they see a business opportunity in those countries. And of course, for employer of record and direct employees, they are actually just the same. So for employer of record, direct employees, you could still offer stock options. You could still offer private benefits. You could still enforce IP clauses and non-competes. And companies still get the full control of these employees' day-to-day working relationship. And of course, what this entails, access to global workforce. But of course, even though we're using EOR or employer of record providers, it doesn't stop us to know everything that we need in terms of how we manage salaries. So with Deel, we have this what we call global hiring insights within the platform that navigates through global salary insights. So what are the standard salary rates for certain position in each countries where they plan to hire from? Global employment comparison. So how much would it cost them hiring from India or hiring in the Philippines or in Indonesia? And lastly, employee cost calculator. So this gives them an overview of how much they are paying for, not just the salaries, but as well as the statutory contributions. So this is actually what we call the SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, employee and employer share. And lastly, of course, we want to show the employees how much will be the net take-home pay if they are to hire in this country using the EOR service. So everything is provided by Deel, and we provide not just the details, but as well as the knowledge for them to make sure that they have all the tools to expand in different countries. And lastly, using independent contractors. So one fun fact, actually an amazing fact that I would like to share to everyone, Deel, with the Deel Global Hiring Report, Philippines has been the largest provider of global talents. And right now we are currently managing over 100,000 contractors within the platform that are currently paid through Deel, that are currently managed through Deel. But of course, this could be the easiest and cheapest way, fastest way to hire internationally, but it could also pose different pain points like invoice management, which usually is being done manually. compliant to international payments. Each countries have their laws in terms of sending out payments into different countries. Indonesia is charging 15% personal income tax for foreigners who are earning from Indonesian companies. While in the Philippines, we don't actually look at it. So that's why I think that's also one of the reasons why companies really look at the Philippines as one of global talent hub, which also is something that I'm proud of, since I can see a lot of opportunity for Filipinos to earn more by getting employment with companies abroad. All right, so how does Deel place with all this international hiring? So the good thing with us is that we offer a single source of truth. So Deel is the only company to compliantly manage everything for everyone in one single platform. So our model is not just a managed service. We offer it using a tech-enabled platform where clients could actually work with their teams on everything that they need to manage for their employees. So we do hire and pay, either contractors, EOR employees, direct employees. We also handle immigrations. So if there are companies who would want to hire Filipinos, bring them to Singapore or any other parts of the world, we also handle the visa processing for these employees. We also do US payroll, which will be coming soon, and of course, benefits administration on top of the standard benefits that we are offering for the employees. And of course, we also have in our features HRIS function. So this gives our clients an overview of all their teams in different countries into one single access. That includes reporting, equipment provision, co-working provision through WeWork, and of course, integrations with different systems such as HR systems, accounting systems, expense systems, anything that they need to manage employees. And lastly, one of the key values that we offer with Deel is staying compliant. So we fend off misclassification cases by using one of our product, which is called Shield, getting legal protection using our premium, background checks, and of course, localized contracts, which are drafted, audited, and constantly updated by our over 200 legal experts globally. So that's exactly how we help clients hire internationally, easily, and compliantly. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening, everyone.
Work's gone global, but until now, no HR platform has been able to handle everything for everyone. Some teams have to use up to 16 different tools to make things work. Deel's the future of global HR, and it's the only platform that works for your team wherever they are, whatever their status. Easily handle international hiring, payroll, and HR with one powerful platform. Hire contractors and employees worldwide, even if you don't own an entity. Once you find a candidate, onboard them with a localized contract and a visa if needed. We even provide powerful salary insights so you can be sure your offer is competitive, and we'll automatically collect any necessary compliance documents. Get your team set up fast with built-in background checks, equipment, WeWork passes, and effortless app access. Then manage the entire worker lifecycle through one central HR platform designed with global teams in mind. Plus, handle time off, promotions, and bonuses all in a few clicks. Deel integrates with any tool to help keep your data and workflows synced. You'll get a first-of-its-kind worldview of your entire team's headcount, payroll, and productivity in one place. On payday, consolidate payroll for contractors, international, and local employees. We'll take care of the contractor invoicing, plus employee taxes, benefits, pay slips, and more. Deel has everything you need to run a global team efficiently, and it's the only platform built for everyone and everything, everywhere. Learn how Deel can simplify your global team needs at deel.com.